You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Jolie Perlois Jabbar and Town Square Pizza, downtown Baton Rouge. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kinch's back in the studio. Colucci with us today. Kenny White with us today. Matt Humans with us today as we get close to the weekend. Big matchup between LSU and Texas A&M, and gorgeous weather here in downtown Baton Rouge. Good morning, Jimmy. How are you?
Good morning, Charlie.
You superstitious?
Sure.
I think everybody's a little superstitious. I mean, there are people that are over-the-top superstitious, won't eat Tic Tacs in odd numbers or, crazy stuff. But, you wear the same shirt, you sit a certain way, your team gets a hit a little bit. I'm not overly superstitious, just a little bit superstitious. And I'm certainly not – how many years did we hear – the Saints can never win because, there's something buried under the Superdome, or Marie Laveau went down to curse a team, or what, They're just not going to win. They just can't win. They're cursed. Mm-hmm. I never bought into that. I thought,
No, not that kind of stuff.
Give me
I'm probably not.
Not that. Give me a good owner. Give me a good coach. Give me a good quarterback. They'll win. But I'm really starting to wonder about the Pelicans. They have improved the roster. They have, done things internally with the training staff, with the facility, with, the coaching staff. They've done, some things in free agency. The draft. They're trying. Okay, God bless them. And they go out last night and they win the opener. Okay, it was a nice win. They were 5.5-point favorite. They won the game by 12. They were in control most of the second half. They did what good teams do. They never let the Bulls really get within arm's length in the fourth quarter. The best they could do was cut it to 7, and they are closing out what is a very nice opening win of the season, especially with Zion Williamson not there because he's got some kind of virus, according to Willie Green. And you bring in, a couple of new players, DeJounte Murray, who's been a good player. Missy, the rookie out of Baylor, certainly made an impact for game number 1. Want to see more, encouraged by that. And then right there at the end of the game, Murray on what is a very routine play, just another 3-point shot in a season full of them, defended by Zach LaVine, who's going to defend 1,000 of these things this year, and he breaks his hand. DeJounte Murray averaged, since his rookie year, 72 games a year played. In the modern-day NBA, that's an Iron Man.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. I mean, this is not an injury-prone player. This is not an out-of-shape player. This is not an old player. This is a good player that has been dependable and durable and is in his prime and is excited to be there and was having a really good game. Was going to probably just miss a triple-double, and everything's fine. And just a regular defended 3 on a very ordinary shot, and he's going to miss, I don't know how much time, but it's a broken hand for a guy that handles the ball, so you tell me, a while.
Couple months.
Man, yeah, probably. I mean, all the developmental time you want, at the beginning of the season with a new guy running the show, a team chemistry that you're building. And right out the chute, I mean, you didn't get 48 minutes into this thing. Maybe they are cursed. Maybe I should pay more attention to curses and things like that. I mean, it's just so disheartening. I watched. I was not watching when the shot went up. Okay, I had watched earlier in the game. I watched the football last night. Liberty going down was, kind of had my attention.
That?
Yeah, that kind of had my attention more than the Pelicans game because the Pelicans had a comfortable lead by the time I got to that point in the night. So I'm watching the highlights as I'm, falling asleep. TV's on, and here it comes. Breaking news from Shams. And I'm like, oh, what happened? This got to be something with Embiid, right? Pelicans guard DeJounte Murray. Come on, man. Really? Are you going to on opening night? Really? I don't know.
Right.
Just disheartening.
It's bad luck.
It's bad luck.
It's bad luck.
Bad luck.
I mean, you can't look as excited as we were with Zion, but Roscoe. Jimmy, you're so negative. Okay, I'm negative, Roscoe. I mean, that guy has no room for error on his conditioning. I mean, so has that kind of been a little bit of a battle?
Yeah,
and that comes with the territory.
Right.
This is, you laid it out perfectly. I mean, I play 72 games a year, and game one, and he's right there from a triple double, and I mean, you're able to pick him up, and you still kept Ingram. I mean,
who had a fantastic game last night, by the way?
He's a player of the game.
Yeah, fantastic. He was
player. I mean, great. He's a really good player. Is he a max player? Can he spend his contract? Well, nobody else did. So, man, that's a break.
Yeah,
that's a break to pick up a piece like Murray and then not lose Ingram. So, it's just what do you do, man? I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing because of they're being cheap on the medical staff or this or that or cheap. They're sharing general manager with the it's just bad. That's bad luck. It's not your player dogging it. Does he want to play? Does he not?
This ain't Eric Gordon.
When it first came, to me, the one that really stuck out to me said, "Big homie Eldon Campbell at the end of the bench."
Yeah, he didn't want to be.
He looks okay to me. He's not ready to play.
That Eric Gordon holding up the jersey at the opening press conference where he looked like he was being sentenced to Leavenworth. That one sticks with me. That guy hung around for 4 years and didn't want to be there. This guy wants to be there. I mean, he was excited about the trade. There's a limited number of those guys in the NBA that are dying to go to New Orleans. You got one who's good.
Who's going to a better team.
Yes,
excited. Yeah.
And this happens. Just stinks. I was of all the things I saw last night in the game. Misi is a little bit further up. One game, I get it, but for a guy who played very limited amount of basketball to this point in his life, took up the game late and only played one season of college basketball, I expected his developmental curve to be pretty long, and maybe it will be, but last night he blocked 3 shots and altered 3 or 4 more, and you could tell when he was in the game. He's 6'11". He's a jumping jack. He's a decent deterrent in there right now. So I was encouraged about that. If he's a little bit further along than we expected, then good. And Ingram played great, and they won. And it's just every time you think that, hey man, this will be pretty cool. So they'll have to deal with that. But the Kennesaw State win against Liberty last night, Jimmy, is this the biggest upset of the year in college football? Were they a bigger up? They were 26.5-point dog was the last I saw.
27.
Yeah, to win outright. Is that Northern Illinois at Notre Dame? Was it quite that? So this is.
I can find out.
It's close if it's not. And ordinarily, it's Kennesaw State. Who cares? But Liberty was a real factor in the potential Group of 5 spot in the playoff. They were undefeated. There was no game on their schedule left that you look at and go, wow, they can't win. So 12-0 was a real possibility. And now that all went down the tubes. And I got to tell you, I watched a lot of this game. In fact, I watched probably 3/4
of
this
fluke.
game. It was not. Kennesaw State from jump outplayed them.
It was close.
It was a close
Very
game.
close.
I mean, I think without doing a ton of research, we agree Liberty's got the better roster. They were 5-0. Kennesaw State was 0-6. But, no, they were right there. After Liberty scored the first touchdown, Kennesaw State scored the next two. And then Liberty knew they were in it, man. They were hitting. They were stopping the run early. And then when Liberty got it going, they were able to score a couple of times and hold them off. And then at the end, they had to put the second back on the clock with that fiasco. But, no, this has got, playoff implications. This knocks Liberty out of any chance that they would have had to be the Group of 5 representative in the playoff. I think Liberty, a few things were hurting them. Of course, the caliber of schedule. Last year, being embarrassed, they scored the opening touchdown against Oregon. Notre Dame was 1 point more against Northern Illinois, closed at 28. 383 to 326. So Liberty did outgain them by 45, 50 yards, but the game was in the balance the whole time, and Kennesaw State led. Did Liberty ever lead, Charlie? Liberty led 7-0. But that was it. That was it. That's it, huh? Yeah. So, and they answered that touchdown very quickly within like 3 minutes. Liberty, but Liberty, and this is why I gave them out on auto locks too. And this is a couple of games in a row now that we've gone against Liberty. Charlie, they have struggled this year. They got Salter back, the quarterback, but I mean they struggled to beat Florida International as 20-something point favorite. East Carolina, they won by 11. UTEP, New Mexico State, they only won by 7. They only beat Campbell by 17. This is not the same team. And Chadwell is, he's won a lot of games at Coastal Carolina. It's his second year, taking over from Hugh Freeze at Liberty. And so, man, they could have done a lot worse than Jamie Chadwell. Jamie Chadwell, I thought what he did at Coastal was going to have a great year. And the starting quarterback's coming back, but they haven't been the team they were last year all season long. I think for them to be the Group of 5 rep, it would have been by default. They had some other teams would have to lose. I agree. The Army, Navy, Boise would have had Boise. Oh, the Boise UNLV winner from Friday night. This coming Friday night. 11-2 Boise Mountain West winner. Sure, 12-1. It was getting ahead of them. Yeah, no doubt. But 11-2, there'd have been a lot of people that would have given a nod to Boise. Right. I don't know about the committee. Yeah, and if either Army or Navy beats Notre Dame, but Charlie, that's going to go a long way. They don't even have last year's results. I mean, it's kind of been hanging around all year. Yeah. So this is, but it's still nobody expected Kennesaw State to win. Oh. Do we tie this into the rest of parity with Army and Navy and other, or just no? Because this is the weakest. This is the least impressive Liberty team. Shoots, it's Malik Willis before he got there. Yeah, that team was better than this team. This team is just not good. No, the last Freeze team was, I think, probably the best of the bunch. Maybe it was the second to last Freeze team up there. Well, the last Freeze team beat Coastal in the COVID Bowl game. Okay. And the one before, and Malik Willis that went to Ole Miss and was competitive. Yeah, whichever one of those Freeze teams that was. I don't remember if it was second to last or the last or the third, whatever team that was. They were pretty good. Charles. This team is worse than all of the previous teams that I can remember. Oh, you think this is worse than all of the Freeze teams? Okay. Yeah. The record that they weren't struggling with these type of teams. And I'm not just talking about last night. Right. I'm talking about the year before. I mean, did you watch Florida International the game before? The night before? No. Oh, a little bit. Oh. There was awful football. Man. Yeah. They had to pull their quarter. That team went toe-to-toe with Liberty. Yeah. At Liberty. Right. I mean, toe-to-toe with them. I watched very little of that game 2 nights ago. I watched a lot of this game last night because Kennesaw was into it. The Owl team's been struggling, man. Rice Owls, Temple Owls.
Even Florida Atlantic Owls.
Yeah. Well, this is their first ever
D1 win as a D1 team.
Yeah, the crowd was into it. The team was. I mean, they were 0-6. You know.
Yes, it's 0-6 versus 5-0.
5-0. So
was Liberty ranked?
No, they were getting votes, but they weren't ranked.
Okay.
They were getting some votes. Let's see, they were down in the they would have been like 30-31 if they'd have been.
Gotcha. Over here at Jolie Pearl, don't forget, now's the time to do kind of reserve your spot for holiday parties, groups of all sizes. We don't just have our regular menu items. We have a whole different catering menu. It's been really neat, man. You got to come on by and check out the place. I mean, the stage with the oyster shell backdrop and art. It's freshly painted, new furniture, and man, just around the corner, this thing's going to be decked out for the holidays as well. So, hey, tomorrow is our live after 5 season finale. That's right. Chris LeBlanc's band, Southdown Souls, will be performing at the Davis Roar stage, and we'll have live music, kind of taking a baton from Chris LeBlanc and them on the main stage right over here on the lawn tomorrow. So, and don't forget we got stuff on all the time over here at Live After 5, and it is Zoe Levere in a beta tasting. That's on this Friday over here. So come on by and check us out here at Live After 5. And also, hey, Bama, are you coming in for Southern games? Southern games, Bama and LSU's in a couple of weeks. If you are staying downtown for coming to see your kids in schools, downtown Jolie Pearl is within walking distance of all the major hotels. I mean, a minute walk to the Watermark, maybe 2-minute walk to Indigo, minute and a half walk to the Hilton. And also, don't forget, so for Live After 5 too, Town Square Pizza. Town Square Pizza, it's fresh, it's piping hot, it's filling, and man, it is really, really good. You order your pizza, take it, and kind of grab and go over to listen to the music. So take advantage of our great October weather. Make Jolie Pearl and Town Square Pizza your meeting place for Live After 5, the season finale tomorrow.
Live at Jolie Pearl and Town Square Pizza, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Jolie Pearl downtown, facing Town Square on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, the new LouisianaSports.net. Also, the new Handycast is up on YouTube right now. Search Handycast. Hit a subscribe, hit a like. Richard Dixon and I went through the film on LSU and Arkansas. We had a chance for another undefeated to go down tonight in Pittsburgh. The Thursday, we got some pretty good Thursday night football actually, and it's going to be Syracuse going in there to see if they can knock Pitt from the unbeaten. Pitt's been living a little bit of a charmed life. They got out with a 2-point win against Cal. They got out earlier in the season with a 1-point win at Cincinnati. They got out with a 4-point win against West Virginia. They ended up beating North Carolina by 10, but North Carolina's not very good. Jimmy, there's something to be said for winning the close games, but they also have been, I would say, a little bit fortuitous in getting to 6-0, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Cincinnati, they were down 27-6 in the second half. They outscored them 22-0. Same thing, they were down double digits in the fourth quarter against West Virginia and scored two late touchdowns, 2 long touchdown drives. I want to say 75 apiece to win that one 38-34. And in the Cal game, Cal they were up. North Carolina game they were down in the tied in the fourth quarter, and they scored 10 to put that away. And the Cal game was uncharacteristic because it was a defensive game, but they were winning most of that game, 17-9. Cal hit a couple of field goals late and then missed a long one to take the lead, and Cal probably outplayed them in that game, 335 to 277 total yards. So they were a little bit fortunate there. Syracuse is not far behind, Charlie. They're the one Friday night upset at home against Stanford from being undefeated as well. They went on a Friday night a couple of weeks ago and beat UNLV. They beat Georgia Tech earlier this year and at NC State, and NC State's having a rough year. But I think you can have a shootout, man, with a couple of transfer quarterbacks. Eli Holstein, the kid from Zachary, committed to Jimbo, then decommitted, signed with Alabama, spent 1 year there, and went to Pitt, and he's been a star. The big thing at Pitt was Narduzzi was kind of forced. They forced his hand to bring in a new offense coordinator to kind of modernize and go up-tempo with their offense. But when you have a guy like when you have a quarterback like Holstein that you can showcase a little bit, and they didn't know just how good he would be this year, but he's been good. He's been good. He's a good athlete. He's a 3-year starter at the 5A school, and it's he was highly recruited, and I just can't understand like programs like Auburn and some others that wouldn't have gone after him, instead. So that surprises me a little bit. But no, I think he got a shootout tonight. I think that Syracuse is going to give Pitt a good game, a good fight tonight.
I think Syracuse may win the game. I like them an awful lot tonight. What did I ask you yesterday? We were talking about the Thursday night games. I asked you, Syracuse and Pitt, that's a pretty good game. Who's the coach at Syracuse now? Who took over for Dino? I don't even remember. And so I went and looked it up, and I wanted to do a little digging into Fran Brown, because this is about one of the most under-the-radar hires of the last coaching cycle. Fran Brown was a defensive backs coach at Georgia, but he's from South Jersey, and so he's got a lot of ties up there. Fran Brown came in, 27 players left immediately when Dino Babers was fired. He brought in 19 transfers. They've started 50 games. He brought in McCord is the big name, obviously, from Ohio State. But he brought in 2 receivers from Georgia. He brought in one of the offensive linemen that got aggravated with Dion out at Colorado. He even came back to LSU and got Deuce Chestnut, who for some reason can play up there but can't play down here. And he's put together a pretty good roster. The one big reason that they hired him was he has recruiting ties, obviously, around that program, being from South Jersey, but also in the Deep South, having been at Georgia, and he was also at Baylor. Syracuse right now leads the nation in committed recruits. How's that? 30 recruits he's gotten since he's gotten there earlier this year. Now, they're not loaded with 5 stars and 4 stars, but he's got 30 kids committed. They're a top 35 or so recruiting class, and he's put some life into that deal. So I didn't know much about him, but so far he has done what he was hired to do, which was turn that roster over as fast as you can and go out and start recruiting. He's got kids committed to Syracuse from Texas, from Florida, from Georgia, and a number of them from the Philadelphia area. So through 6 games, somebody I couldn't even have identified 2 days ago has done a pretty good job. 42 years old.
Yeah, I think we might have a good one tonight, too. Don't forget our friends at Electric Man. Our job is to make your job easier. Electric Man, powered up to wire you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, available day in and day out to provide quality service, fast, efficient, and reliable. So we deliver fast and dedicated electrical services. Electrical work is not do-it-yourself, figure it out on the fly type of stuff. The do it at home dad kind of stuff. Not the case. Get the trained, professional, licensed, insured electricians to come and do your work. 372-5356 or electricmanbatonrouge.com.
Live at Jolie Pearl and Town Square Pizza, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, let's get the horn going. Let's get it out the way. Colucci, it's hockey time, baby. How about your Frozen Frenzy? Did you have any action the other night?
Yeah, it was crazy. I tell you, I didn't do too well with my selections last Thursday. We hope to rectify that, but it's been a steady flow of hockey, and now with the NBA getting acclimated to the schedule, as I like to say, it's going to be a really, really busy time of the year for us. We still have the World Series going on with the two Titans clashing. You got great NFL action, great college action. A lot of upsets in college and parity this year, Jimmy. I mean, it's so hard to handicap the college board. You never know what team's going to show up. The realignment is definitely taking its toll on certain teams, so it's a lot of fun out here at the Rampart and South Point. But I will say, as a bookmaker, we have not done that great with the NFL this year, Jimmy. I mean, several weekends now where the public has gotten the better of us, especially over this past weekend, and the weekend prior, it was referred to as Black Sunday. But this weekend, you had all the teams in the afternoon, basically, that the public were siding with, either covering or winning the game. So, it's been a difficult NFL season. And, nobody cares, no tears shed over here because nobody cares about a bookmaker in Las Vegas. The public has been doing okay. They're getting a little more acclimated to that NFL schedule.
Yeah, it's been rough for a lot of people the last couple of weeks, but they were killing it early with all the upsets and smashing all those money line parlays. At the Rampart, you guys didn't win the start of NFL season?
Yeah, the NFL start of the season was very good. We had some monster weeks, don't get me wrong, but the last couple of weeks, maybe the last three even, it's been close, tight to the belt. And, hard to even make a cannoli out here in Las Vegas. So, they're hard to come by anyway, guys, good cannolis out here. So, it's been tough, but we like to see the public.
Hey, all right, let's what you showing on tonight's game? The bet Minnesota against the Rams, the banged-up Rams, even though Kupp's coming back, they're trying to shop him. But the Minnesota seems to be the public side tonight.
Yeah, we opened the game at 3, and we're taking some over action. I mean, we opened it at 47. It's up to 48, but we're standing solid at 3. And, it's a quick turnaround for the Vikings after a very difficult game against Detroit. Everybody knows how tough a division foe that Detroit is. And Detroit, right now, it looks like they may be the NFC frontrunner when all is said and done, barring any injuries like we constantly discuss. They're shopping Cooper Kupp. Yes, the Rams. I heard rumors about Stafford as well. That just shows me that Nakua is getting healthy, and he'll be back probably next week. So if you're able to shop a talent like Cooper Kupp, who's getting a little older, Nakua is getting close to getting back on that roster healthy, and that definitely would replace the Cooper Kupp loss, and you would get some draft picks or what have you, however the Rams want to finagle that trade. So, definitely the Rams are in a weird position. They're 2-4 right now. And to be shopping quarterbacks and wide receivers, it's not the greatest of message. I mean, they got a title out of it, and they definitely should look to rebuild, whereas Minnesota, they have some fabulous assets right now. They played very well against Detroit. I mean, that Detroit juggernaut was just a little too tough to overcome in the end, and massive credit beating the Vikings and Dallas back-to-back weeks, manhandling them. Minnesota would love to bounce back here, regain traction in the division as Green Bay keeps winning. Detroit keeps winning. Even the Bears are serviceable at times. So, Minnesota doesn't really want to slip up. Seeing a lot of teasers and parlays on Minnesota, but like I said, we haven't seen the needle move to that big key number of 3.5 just yet, Jim.
All right, 6 of the 9 games start at 7 Eastern. I'm sorry, 5 of the 9 games start at 7 Eastern tonight on the ice. Who you like tonight?
Yeah, we have some difficult matchups. I mean, the Rangers right now, the marquee matchup is at the 4:07 mark here in Las Vegas, 4:07 p.m. at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers have been fabulous thus far, guys. Have done nothing wrong. They dominated my Canadians the other night. It was so easy. I mean, it was 3-0 in the twinkling of an eye. They have great offensive firepower. Temi Panarin right now is firing on all cylinders. He leads the NHL in scoring. Zibanejad has been finding the back of the net, and we've already moved this game 10 cents. Now, the Rangers are sitting at minus 155 at the Rampart South Point. But this is the NHL, guys, and you can't win forever. Now Florida has two serviceable goalies. I think Bobrovsky will get them on track tonight. This is going to be a hard-knocking matchup. You saw Jacob Trouba back to his old self, with his dirty hitting on Montreal and trying and, make that captaincy shine. But, this guy, he's definitely a danger to the game if the NHL doesn't watch him. So, keep your head up when you're playing against the Rangers and this guy's on the ice because he's going to look to level you if you have your head down for 1 second. I'm going with the Panthers, though, tonight. I'm going to take, a nice plus 130, maybe even 140 at game time because the Rangers are going to take so much steam just because they're dominating the NHL right now. So I'm definitely going to take a shot with Florida in Madison Square Garden, despite the Rangers playing so well. Now, here's a real long shot, guys. Let me tell you something. The Los Angeles Kings had a 7-game road trip to start the season. They came into the Fortress. They got annihilated. It was a very nice wager for myself there, even though Vegas was coming off a long road trip. I just knew the Kings were going to get a little complacent. I think they're still going to be a little complacent. Laying 310 right now.
We're seeing some 350s out there,
Yeah, this is a massive spread, Jimmy. So taking San Jose with 1.5 is not that far out of the question. I mean, the Kings are definitely a much better team than the Sharks. You could see the record indication, 3-2-2, 0-5-1. But the Sharks with a 1.5 definitely could be a play here. I'm liking the Sharks in this matchup with the 1.5. And also we have another late matchup where the Jets, who have been undefeated, and they are undefeated, with Connor Hellebuck playing at an exceptional level right now. 6-0, the Winnipeg Jets are traveling to Seattle. Seattle is 4-3. Winnipeg has been monstrous, but you're seeing the spread is only 125 on the Jets. Let's take Seattle at home. I think the Kraken could get it done and end that massive win streak. So we got 3 selections right there. We're taking a lot of dogs here once again. We're going to try and get that bankroll fired up, Jimmy.
All right, Kraken 4-3, trying to give the Jets their first blemish on the schedule again. 6-0 for the season, so coming back a little bit of juice, about plus 110 right there. San Jose State plus the 1.5. What are you showing, Dwayne, on that puck line for that in Florida? Roughly the defending champs plus money at New York tonight. The 5-0-1 New York Rangers. So that goes tonight.
Yeah, that puck line we could get a little. I'm seeing some even money action in Las Vegas, so you could get a 1.5 and even money on that game.
Okay.
If you wanted to take the Kraken with a 1.5, you're laying minus 240 because that's a really close point spread. Panthers plus a 1.5 on minus 185 naturally. Most of us here in Las Vegas feel that's going to be a very, very close game. So, taking a 1.5, we're going to make you lay some monster juice if you're looking on the pluses there. But the Sharks are the one I recommend. You could see how it's reined in. Only even money with a 1.5, whereas the money line is 3-1. And on the buyback, man, like you said, you could get 250 on that in that range. You might want to take a gamble and bet the Sharks without the 1.5, but I would recommend the 1.5 just because, their number one pick, Celebrini, got hurt in the first game of the season. It's just tough luck for San Jose right now in a big rebuilding phase. And, they just want to keep pace, try and get their first victory as well as, looking at the Jets trying to get their first loss. They've done nothing wrong. And Hellebuck has been a monster, I have to say. I mean, this guy is right there with Igor Shesterkin as the best goaltender in the NHL.
Yeah, so again, just to Dwayne's picks, 3 of them, Florida and the Kraken are money line. The only puck line is San Jose State. San Jose State, that's your picks on the ice. What's your plans for Breeders' Cup next week? You doing any seminars or, Friday and Saturday at Del Mar for the richest day in richest 2 days in sports next weekend?
Yeah, Thursday we're going to have a big lighted up at the South Point with all the usual suspect guys. Myself, John Lindo, Vinny Maiulo, Chris Andrews, hosted by Ralph Sirocco. It's going to be off the hook. I believe it starts at 4 o'clock. So on YouTube, you can watch it live and also stream it. We have all the links. It'll be on my Twitter page at NYBookie Dwayne, and we're going to go over all of the Breeders' Cup races, both Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be a massive extravaganza at the South Point. I'll be representing the Rampart here in Las Vegas, and we're going to have a lot of winners, I'll tell you. It's going to be a European and Japanese flavor this year, Jimmy. Let me tell you something right now. The Japanese are coming fully loaded with some of their best horses. And let me tell you, the Americans better be ready. I mean, whether it's even Torpedo Anna, who will be a big favorite in the distaff, Fiestas, whoever it is, let's keep an eye on this. The Classic is going to be awesome. I do have a little place in my heart. My horse, the Chosen Braun, who I know the owner, John Sonderecker, was actually declared from the sprint, which is going to be the last race on Saturday. He's the house horse there at Del Mar. And I have to say that, John Lindo also made a statement. This man, he and Eric Cooljack have this horse always in awesome shape. And for him to be on the unsound list is just catastrophical. They use different stewards and different veterinarians to deal with the Breeders' Cup. So a Breeders' Cup veterinarian came in, put this horse on the unsound list after a beautiful 37. The horse is just cranked to the max, and unfortunately, he is not going to be able to run the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and he was going to be one of the favorites. So shout out to John and Eric Cooljack. I know they had the horse in great shape, and that's just a misconception right there. But we're going to have all the extravaganzas and festivities. We're going to have everything on the big screen, Jimmy. You know how we do it at the Rampart. It's going to be off the hook. We have the best comping system. Just at $40 in race, you receive one comp dollar. Just going to be a great time. They have table-side service where you could order off of one of the beautiful waitresses, and we'll bring either the clubhouse deli or the cafe right where you're seeing just fabulous atmosphere at the best racing sportsbook in Las Vegas.
All right, let me ask you before we go. We're hitting a little bad connection today, too, but a couple of games that I'm interested where the public is in college football this year. Let's start off with the first one, noon Eastern. Now it's Navy and Notre Dame at MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands. We've seen this line kind of popping around a lot. Where's the action on Navy Notre Dame so far?
Yeah, it's a great matchup, I'll tell you the truth. But so far, we've been just fine with Notre Dame money. I mean, we opened the game at 12. We're sitting at 13 now, total of 51. Lots of pieces and parlays. Navy is undefeated, guys. What a credit how Navy and Army have played so well this year. It's just amazing. And you mix that in with the UNLV Rebels, and it's just monsters. I mean, but a 6-0 team that is receiving 13 points, I might like to tease that up. But so far, all Notre Dame takers at the 12, 9 a.m. Eastern, Pacific, I should say, here in Las Vegas. So get up early if you want to bet on that marquee matchup. Another matchup that we'll have on fired up on our video wall. So, yeah, we're taking, Jimmy, mostly Notre Dame money on teases and parlays. I like Navy a little bit here, but that point spread is definitely right where it should be.
What about the game in Vegas on Friday night? What kind of chance you give the Rebels against Boise State? The game may have playoff implications.
Yeah, massive, Charlie. Definitely massive playoff implications. And people are chomping at the bit here. And, when you're playing at Allegiant, it's definitely a tough go of it. We're seeing Boise State is sitting at 3 right now. We opened the game at 3. Good two-way action. Mostly over action, Charlie. I should say under action, excuse me. We opened that game at 66.5, and now it's down to 64. So when you're moving a game 2.5 points, we're definitely taking significant under action on the teasers. The Rebels, it's a tough position. The parity with the quarterback a couple of weeks ago. It hasn't come and snake bit us just yet, but Boise's quality team, 5-1. Rebels sitting at 6-1. Definitely a tough game for the Rebels.
So that's the toughest game the rest of the way for either team. So I just wonder with that 9:30 kickoff Central Time, 10:30 on the East Coast. I mean, is that going to hurt Ajante's Heisman chances? I mean, this is. I mean, that they may face off again in the Mountain West Conference Championship game, but this is one where. I mean, his numbers speak for itself, but I just worry about those voters if they're going to. How many of them are going to see this game? Oregon State and what's the name? And UNLV just went to Corvallis over the weekend and beat them there. So, I mean, this is the toughest game the rest of the way for the running back for Boise and the Boise State Broncos. How about the Fighting West Reynolds? They plowing in on them every week? They bet a little Nebraska last week, though, huh?
Nebraska got destroyed. It's the rule factor, as I like to call it. I mean, they just got destroyed. They were annihilated. Definitely, an undefeated team now, Indiana. So you have to keep your eye on that. But that was just a whitewash. I mean, I can't believe how bad Nebraska actually played. I thought they would show up a little better, but there was no feel at all there. There's a lot of big matchups this weekend, Jimmy, and big point spreads. I mean, how often do you see a team like Oregon 21.5 over a team Illinois that's 6-1? So, definitely. And like we just said, what are we sitting at right now? We opened this game, Ohio State at 26. Nebraska's getting 25.5 now. So a few takers on Nebraska, but this is definitely Ohio State's game to lose. They're going to lay a beating on this team if they show up again. And that's another early morning game at 9 a.m. So they better be prepared, Nebraska, for this shellacking, because Ohio State is very hungry and still want to stay, in the playoff chase. And this will only enhance their playoff implications if they blow this team out, which they totally should.
All right, Kaluch, follow Dwayne on Twitter at NY Bookie, Dwayne.
I'm trying to move coast on
I'm a Dodger fan, guys. I'm a Dodger fan, but I'm not.
At Dodger Bookie, Dwayne.
But hey, I forgot Louisiana, L.A. I like that, too. You guys are trying to graduate me into the Louisiana.
A little Freudian slip, baby.
So.
I got you. How about the parking passes for games 1 and 2 for $6,000 to park? Oh, man. Hey, get some Breeders' Cup picks for us next week, Friday and Saturday for us when you come on, man. We'd appreciate it.
Definitely. I will have everything handicapped, and we're going to crush the cup this year at Belmont.
Let's do it. All right, Dwayne Colucci with us each and every week. You're the best, Dwayne. We appreciate it. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows. We offer high-quality windows in an array of materials, colors, guaranteeing the look what you want while providing improved energy efficiency, security, reduced outdoor noise, and increased home value. Proud premier window company in Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. All-Star Doors, whether you're searching for a unique entry door, elegant French doors, or stylish sliding glass doors, looking to improve your backyard. We offer a variety of materials, colors, finishes to suit your taste. Beautify your home with high-quality replacement doors at Relief Windows. Relief Windows, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com.
Live is Jolie Pearl in Town Square Pizza, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Jolie Pearl downtown, facing Town Square on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Matt Euman's with us in the top of the hour. He's been hot with his picks of late, but maybe not as hot as this guy last night at the sports book. Our friend Patrick Everson tipped us off to this one. Somebody walked in last night and said, "I like Kennesaw State to win the game," and laid $7,000 on the table.
Let me guess.
What the money line was?
27. I mean plus 1,200.
$1,450.
It was $1,450.
Made over $100,000, a little over $100,000 on the bet. You got to have some either more money than you know what to do with, some real cojones to put $7,000 on a money line on a 27-point underdog.
Yeah, I mean, that how many? You know what, that the book might have had a one at night, but I don't know how many people are there on a Wednesday. You know, if that game is on a Thursday, kind of kicking off some of them, they just throw them in.
Sure.
It's kind of a throw-in, even though it is not you get nothing. I mean, it's like betting nothing. I mean,
who throws, Kennesaw State, look, I thought that they at least showed a little bit of a heartbeat last week against Middle Tennessee, because I've been watching some of these midweek games, and I knew Liberty was fading a little bit, but under no circumstances I think they'd win the game. I thought they had a chance to cover the 4 touchdowns, but I didn't. No way. And certainly didn't walk into Caesars and put $7,000 on it.
When Hunt texted me, because Hunt posts them on our website, the outer locks.
Yeah, LouisianaSports.net.
Yeah. I was like, I'm in Costco, and I'm like, Really? I'm really sending him Kennesaw State, huh? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and Rich Rod and them barely covered. And then Rich Rod and them go to Liberty next, and they could beat them again.
Yeah, they played well last night. I watched a little bit of that.
They're
game
playing
too.
better.
Hour number 2 straight ahead is Jolie Pearl and Town Square Pizza, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I said Watermark Hilton and Hotel Indigo. I shouldn't know what it is anyway. But all the major hotels downtown, we're at max 5-minute walk over here. So Natural Historic Landmark over here at Historic Landmark where we are. Man, it's newly renovated. Hey, just around the corner is Christmas season, holiday season. So Black Friday, man, this place will be decked out. We go up. It is Christmas decorations on steroids over here at Jolie Pearl. But right now, and that is tomorrow. It's our last Live After 5 of the fall season. Chris LeBlanc's band, that's right, the Southdown Souls featuring Chris LeBlanc will be here. Make Jolie Pearl your meeting place. Great to get, and the weather's just great right now. Go next door and get a Town Square Pizza. You know, the little individual pizzas, which are plenty for one person. Mix and match your own or get one of the specialized pizza. You do them right there, made to order. Come out piping hot. You take it almost like a grab and go going to the concert. So Jolie Pearl, great bar, a lot of bar specials as well. We're doing some music over here all through the weekend as well. And make Jolie Pearl your meeting place for the last Live After 5 of the fall season.
You know, we got the word yesterday about Missouri and Alabama, where Missouri will be without their top rusher in this game. They may also be without Brady Cook. The injury last week apparently not exactly healing up the way that they had hoped. They were already going to be without Nate Noel, and now they could be without Brady Cook as well. So for Alabama, what could have been a dicey game, you know, they've all been dicey, it seems like, for Alabama. They're catching a break here with Noel being out, and now they're calling Brady Cook officially doubtful. I think
wow!
It's for the game.
Well, we know he got some help. Okay, he didn't go to the hospital just, for a visit and just a little rest. I mean, he got some help, and so that got him through that game. They do not win without him. He might have had to go, was it 93, 95 yards?
It was 95. It was
95 in the last, and scored with about a minute to go. They overcame a 4th and 5. They converted a 4th and 5 midway through that one. And so, and without Pine did get a field goal, but they were not winning against Auburn on Saturday with Pine. They're not going to beat Alabama with Pine. He can improve his play, but there's just a ceiling there, and no.
No, I agree completely. The other thing is that Missouri, they have not gotten the ball to Luther Burden as much as they need to. He's not even their leading receiver, and it's not he's healthy. It's just that he draws so much attention. They were showing one of the graphics, or one of those little video collages where it's him coming off of the line, 4 or 5 plays in a row. I mean, he's got so much attention applied to him, and they haven't been able to really target him as much as they'd like to. I mean, he's got 4 touchdowns on the season, but it's a preseason All-American. He's still going to be a very high draft choice, and they just haven't been able to use him or get the ball to him enough to where he's got so much attention on to where they're able to exploit something else.
What's the record now? 37 catches? He had like 5 catches a game. I mean,
yeah, he's like 16 yards behind the other guy. He's got the most catches by 2, and they're still 6-1. They're still
the schedule, man.
The schedule should have.
What's their best win? Auburn at home.
Boston College.
Vandy at home when they
Vandy at Boston College. Vandy, Boston College, Auburn. Take your pick.
I think Auburn's better than Boston College.
Maybe. I wouldn't take a strong.
I think Vandy's better than Boston College.
I think Vandy may be better than Auburn too.
They probably are. They've got a more impressive resume.
Auburn's hard to back right now, man. They're going nowhere offensively, and the defense, they hang in there, and then eventually something breaks, and they've been put under so much duress because of the just obscene amount of turnovers. They look nothing like the Hugh Freeze offenses that we saw at Ole Miss or at Liberty. And I think the quarterback's got a lot to do with that. I understand, but what else? What else you got?
Charlie, they did a better job just trying to get him some screens, trying to do some, whether it's bubble screens with some end arounds and things like that. But you telling me he's only got 5 rushes all year? 2 of them are for touchdowns. I mean, that's not
a Freeze offense.
No. We're talking about Luther Burden from Missouri.
Oh, Luther Burden. I'm sorry.
We're talking about. I thought they did a really good job of creating out. They put him in the punt return game. He was the one that muffed the punt that Auburn recovered for a touchdown to extend their lead to 17-3. But I thought Drinkowitz did a really nice job of kind of moving him around and making him available. They don't have the supporting cast after him. That's one thing. But he's getting more than 5 rushes on the season. I'm making sure of that. I mean, 2 or 3 times a game. I mean, you want to. Yeah. I'm going to, and then, because if you do that, then you can play action off of it. You can do some different things if they're showing that much attention. But no, that's just not making sure that he gets his proper amount of touches.
You're talking about the jet sweep motion and things like that.
Jet sweep. I'm talking about even a bubble screen that is a lateral, behind the line.
You remember LSU used to run that with Jamar Chase. But once every third game, they put him in the backfield and they'd swing something to him.
And it's an extended handoff.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're trying to get the guy. You're trying to get him. At proper.
Get in the ball, get him in space, and give him an opportunity to make a play. They haven't done as much of that. Now, all that being said, if Alabama throws up on themselves, how much worse is it going to be? But I got a hard time. I could have got past Noel maybe. I watched Pine play most of that game last week. No. That ain't gonna get there. You watched Illinois a couple of times. They've been a real solid group. They look like a Bielema team. They look like a little bit like the Bielema
Altmaier's
team.
Improved.
Yeah,
he's protected the ball, but they're a Bielema team.
Yeah, they look a little bit like the old Wisconsin Bielema teams.
Final box score was a little bit skewed. They didn't have as many yards as Michigan, but they were ahead, and they were playing safe mode. They were going to make Michigan drive the length of the field. Some people say that Altmaier's had some more turnover-worthy plays, but he's still only thrown 1 interception on the season. So a little bit tricky spot. The one big spot when they went to Penn State, they really weren't that competitive. But 21-7, one of Penn State's scores was a pick six. It was a pick six or a scoop score. It was a defensive score. So – they could go into Eugene and provide a little bit of resistance. I mean, they're a top 25 team, even if they're not ranked. They're a top 30 team.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of points to be given what's a real solid team. And I'm putting some of the stock into that game against Penn State, where one of those games, at least when I watched it, okay, I don't think that they're going to win here. But Penn State never ran away and hid from them either. It was competitive. I could see this game being competitive at least.
Could be. I mean, Charlie, we seem way less suspecting, teams, way much bigger dogs or way less potent dogs, we would think. But they're coming somewhere. I mean, they're going to come from somewhere.
How many number one
teams? It just happens
teams,
every damn week, man.
How many number 1 teams have we had so far this year since the preseason? Oregon's number 5, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So it's not like we haven't seen the number 1 team.
Those rankings, man, they're off. Let's take a time out. We got Humans ready to go. We'll come back and give him his full allotment, get his picks and his top NFL picks, and Kenny White as well. Don't forget our friends over here at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Again, holiday parties just around the corner. We got a great holiday banquet catering menu that's over here. So on site or look aside, any size party. just a great setting, man. We do all the chafing dishes and do it all right for you, man. Dress it up however you want. You come in here and decorate it as well. But holiday parties with this setting, when it's decorated with all the Christmas stuff, you talk about festive over here at Jolie Pearl.
Live at Jolie Pearl, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Jolie Pearl downtown, facing Town Square on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let's go out to Las Vegas, pick it up with VSiN's Matt Humans. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. And you know what? I'm not really excited about the college football or NFL cards this week, but hopefully we can find some winners here.
Well, let me, before we get to your picks, what you just put out your college basketball stuff. Give us some finds. Through your research, maybe some teams to back or some teams to fade. Moving on for the college basketball season.
Yeah, I spent about 30 hours last week working on college basketball, trying to put ratings on 100-plus teams and write up a bunch of stuff for our VSiN College Basketball magazine. You know what? It's there's so much to talk about. It would take so much time. But I'll tell you, I think Gonzaga is going to be the real deal on the West Coast this year. And I bet the Zags at 28-1 and 20-1 to win the whole thing. And there's some other bets you can make on Gonzaga as well. But I think that's a legit Final Four threat, national contender team for Mark Few, and I know that's been said a lot, and his teams have come up short. But I haven't said that the past few years, but I am buying into this Gonzaga team. And if you remember last, let's say January, February, into March, aside from UConn and Purdue, the hottest team in college basketball was Gonzaga, and I think that's going to carry over to this season. And also, I bet Alabama. Just going to make your son happy. I bet Alabama at 20-1 before Mark Sears announced he was going to back out of the NBA draft because I thought he was going to be a second-round pick, and he's projected second-rounder, so I thought he would come back. But I would still play Bama, too. I think Nate Oates has got a hell of a team. Alabama, Gonzaga at the top are two of my favorites. And
it's a basketball
right
school, Matt.
That was pretty good value at the time. What's up?
It's a basketball school, Alabama.
The basketball team will finish. They'll finish ranked ahead of where the football team is.
No doubt.
I'm just surprised. I know we don't have time to go into it right now, but I was just shocked to find out that Rutgers has two of the top three players in next year's NBA draft at Rutgers.
But how impactful in the college game this year will they be, Matt?
You talked about Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. Yeah, that's Rutgers got another one coming in next year. Rutgers doesn't have a lot of talent around those two guys, but I power rated that team somewhere around 24th or 25th coming into the season. St. John's, I did bet Rick Pitino's team at a long shot price. I think it was around 80-1, and Pitino's got a lot of talent. St. John's played Rutgers in a scrimmage last week, and I think St. John's won the game 89-85, something like that. But a lot of talent on those two teams as well. And it's just bizarre to see Rutgers have two McDonald's All-Americans like that, two of the top 10 or 15 recruits in college basketball coming in. But Steve Peichel is a hell of a coach, done a great job recruiting. You know who's going to do a quick turnaround, I think, is Dusty May. Talking about the biggest coaching upgrade in college basketball. Dusty goes from Florida Atlantic to Michigan, which finished 8-24. I think was it 3-17 in the Big Ten under Juwan Howard last season, and he took Vlad Golden, his big man, with him. Michigan's got some talent. I think that's going to be the biggest turnaround team in college hoops. Not to say Michigan is a team you should bet on the futures, but that's going to be a team that's going to be on the rise in the Big Ten. Obviously, after a disaster under Juwan Howard.
Where did his guard go? He went to Michigan too. The Florida Atlantic guard.
No, he ended up with, I I think he ended up at Arkansas with Calipari.
Yes. I saw that. Yeah. No, he can play, man. You know, what's he? Well, we know he's got him, but what's Arkansas got a little bit? Boy, they had a strange deal. Locker room go bad, NIL deals go bad. Yeah. That was a sideways a deal for them. They were expected to be really good last year. So, does he have any help in Fayetteville this year?
Actually, John L. Davis, who we're talking about, I had to remember the name there for a second. But Calipari actually has got, I think, 8 or 9 talented players. He did a great job assembling the roster. By the way, he brought, I think, 3 or 4 players from Kentucky and a couple of Kentucky commits. So, yeah, he's got plenty of talent. Arkansas is going to be good. In fact, when I did my research, I wasn't expecting a lot out of Arkansas. When I got done with it, I said, this looks like a top 15 type of team. So I actually like Kentucky, too. I think Mark Pope's going to do well at Kentucky, but Coach Cal's got a pretty good team at Arkansas.
Maybe a year to kind of get to improve the rosters. I mean, Pope's going to be competitive in first year, you think?
Who?
Mark Pope at Kentucky.
Yeah, I actually think Kentucky's going to be pretty good this year. Now, he should get better and better. I think Pope's going to be the type of guy that's going to build a stronger program each year. Calipari, who knows? Each year his program could look very different. He could have a lot of new faces. You know, college basketball is so much different now with unrestricted free agency. All these teams can look so different every year. I think Calipari's team is going to change. Mark Pope's going to recruit more high school guys. He's going to have more stability in the Kentucky program. So, actually, I had Kentucky. I actually power rated Kentucky right around number 20. So, I think they're going to be pretty good. Yeah.
SEC basketball media days, even the stars, you know, they bring their two best players or two representing players, whatever. They're usually the best players, but it was about 15% were returning players. Everybody was from different schools. So, Matt, we've talked to you about it a lot and theorized and, you know, coincidence, part this, and it would change, you know, but college football is just a different animal, man. You got to have some big, strong, fast guys to compete. It's not just, you know, some average athletic athletes can go and shoot threes and kind of level the playing field. You know, but this year, college football is more like college basketball than it's ever been. We talk about it a lot. What's your theory on, or some of the reasons that you think?
That college football is what? What
Army,
do you mean?
Navy, UNLV. I mean, you know, there's no super team. It is the parity in college football. I can't remember another year like this.
Yeah, I guess what's bizarre about Army and Navy is they're not taking transfers. They're not paying out NIL money. It's kind of cool to see teams like that able to compete and be in the top 25 and win at a high level, not doing that. You know, last week we saw Tony Bennett retire at Virginia, talking about college basketball. He doesn't want to deal with NIL and everything that's going on now. I think that, in a way, it's I don't want to say it's ruining college basketball, but it's tainting college basketball. As far as college football goes, I don't think we've seen it hurt the sport that much yet. I think the conference realignment's been the biggest problem, but. You know, it all comes down to coaching. If you hire the right coach, let's look at some of the teams that are on the rise in college football. How about Indiana? Hired Kurt Signetti. He was the right guy to go in there and turn that around. Barry Odom at UNLV, the right guy to come in and turn that around. If you hire the right coach in the right place, the NIL and how much you're going to pay, I don't think matters as much as hiring the right coach or hiring the wrong coach. Let's put it that way. Look at Arizona. I've never been high on Brent Brennan. I think he's a clumsy game manager, and he was an overrated overall coach. He did it at a low level at San Jose. He turned around a bad program, but that doesn't mean he's a great coach. Arizona's going downhill fast. You know, Neil Brown probably in over his head at West Virginia. I still think the thing that matters most is you got to hire the right coach, and that's why we're seeing Indiana and UNLV and even the Army and Navy, right? I guess on the rise.
All right, let's get to your picks this week. Give us your top three or four picks in college
football. Man, I don't like
this
card. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like this card very much this week. But I am playing UNLV plus 3.5. because that number's shown up in the market the past couple of days, and I'm not really sure. I think Boise's been a little bit overrated because of Ashton Genty putting up the huge numbers. Circa, DraftKings, Caesars, Will Hill, a few other books have 3.5 on this, so that's why I took Ashton Genty leads the nation, obviously, in rushing with 1,248 yards, and I think Boise's getting a lot of hype, and most of it's deserved. But I watched I watched it live and watched the replay a few nights ago, the Boise-Hawaii game, and that was 13-7 early in the fourth quarter. And that's a pedestrian Hawaii team. But and it's also a pedestrian run defense. Genty was running all over the place, but Boise was not pulling away from Hawaii. I think Boise's going to have a tough time with UNLV here, too, because Rebels got a better defense than Hawaii. Rebels got a quarterback now who's a dynamic playmaker, and I thought he might be an upgrade at the time when Matthew Sluka left and there was that controversy. But Hodge Malik Williams, 70.5% completions, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 390 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. He's got 14 touchdowns and 2 turnovers. And Ricky White, who's an All-American type receiver, is a big part of the offense again. It's going to be an electric atmosphere there Friday night. It's not going to be like Death Valley on Saturday when LSU upset Ole Miss, but it's going to be a pretty good atmosphere, and I think UNLV plus 3.5 is a good spot for a live dog Friday night. I'm also going to play Central Florida, and this number has flipped this week from +2 to -2. I'm still going to play UCF because BYU, in a way, is doing it with smoke and mirrors as an undefeated team at this point. I know you guys watched the end. I'm sure you watched the end last week of the Oklahoma State BYU game in Provo. That was a complete joke, how Cougars were able to pull that out. And I do like this BYU team to a certain extent. But after you get a miracle win like that at home, and you're going on the road to play a UCF team that should have knocked off Iowa State last week, I think this sets up check it out last year when Oklahoma State went to UCF and what happened. I'm sure you remember it was like 45-3 or something like that. But Okie State rolled in there and Gundy got rolled. Very similar situation set up for this game. So I'm going to go UCF. We'll lay the 2 at this point, going to lay a bad number. And I'm going to tell you, I know this number is sitting at 6.5. I'm waiting for it to go to 7. If it doesn't go to 7, I'll buy it up at -130. But I think Wisconsin's got a legit shot to upset Penn State on Saturday night in Madison. And I thought Nittany Lions were very lucky to win at USC a couple of weeks ago. If you watch the Badgers, I know they've been beating some bad teams, but they have been improving offensively, getting better on both sides of the ball. And anytime you roll into Madison for a night game and you're laying a significant number, it's not going to be easy. I'm not seeing 7 yet in the market. Everything's hanging at 6.5, but I do like Wisconsin in that game.
Yeah, look ahead spot for Penn State against Ohio State with the whiteout game, going next week as well. UNLV, are you going to have a bigger crowd, a better crowd than you did for UNLV and Boise State played the Mountain West Conference Championship game in Vegas last year, right? It should be. It
was and,
more excitement.
Yeah,
this year.
You're right about that. And the Broncos kicked their butt in that game, and I don't think. I think that was a little bit better Boise team and a little bit worse UNLV team. And these, I think we're going to see UNLV is ready to step up in class this time when it wasn't last year. It's kind of the new kid on the block. And it is going to be a bigger crowd. I think you're going to have a record crowd out there, at least for a UNLV game on Friday night, maybe around 40,000, something like
that.
Awesome. 35.
That's good, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be probably the biggest regular season crowd they've had. I mean,
right.
So there's no doubt about that. Give us one that you like the best in the NFL this week, Matt.
Well, I'm going to give you one teaser and one straight bet because I played this teaser, and I think this is one you almost have to play on the NFL board this week. How about Chargers -1 with Jets -1? And the Jets are at New England. Chargers home against the Saints. 6-point teaser. You knock them both down to -1 to win the game. I think that's got to be the teaser of the week. You know what? Believe it or not, I played the Raiders +10 this week against the Chiefs. That number disappeared this morning. The market moved overnight, and you can't get 10 anymore with the Raiders. But Kansas City is so beat up offensively, so many key players missing. I do think you're going to see the Raiders step up and give them a game. I see one book, a couple books out there still with 10. I'll give you one more, though, that's got the common number. Let's go Seahawks +3, home dog against the Bills.
All right. All right, Matt, we appreciate it, man. Good luck to you this week. And look, don't forget, man, we don't know where these upsets are coming from in college football, but it seems to deliver every damn week.
Oh,
man.
I know. It doesn't look like a great schedule right now, but it's going to turn out to be a great Saturday. Almost always does. By the way, quickly, do you guys like LSU at A&M or no?
Charlie?
I do. I think you got the better quarterback. I think you got the better quarterback. Wegman's capable of a big game, but Nussmeier's been more dynamic. LSU's defense has improved over the last month. They've given up 1 second-half touchdown, and it was inconsequential in the last month. They've got everybody in the right positions now. I think they win the game.
I think it's going to be tough to win over there. We'll see. Le'Veon Moss, the Baton Rouge kid, is healthy this year, and he's making a difference. I don't know. No, LSU's got the better quarterback, more consistent quarterback, better quarterback. Period. There's no doubt. He's about as consistent as you get, and that hasn't been. But I mean, it's a tough game. But Brian Kelly's team has gotten better. No, but the defense especially, and they were using Perkins out of position. So I mean. He had one tackle for loss, Charlie, this year. I mean, that guy.
It was low.
They weren't playing him.
It wasn't just that. It was that it had other people out of position too.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Good luck to you this weekend, buddy.
Okay, you too.
Don't forget to friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, a full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get when you call 296-0060. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. Live is Jolie Pearl, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Jolie Pearl downtown, facing Town Square on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Let's go out to Las Vegas. Kenny White, KennyWhiteSports.com. Again, is with us each and every week at this time. Kenny, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy, I'm doing well, and, it's a busy time of year, but October is my busiest month because you got the college football, you have the NFL, NHL starts, NBA starts, and I'm getting ready for college basketball. Man, it's a lot of work.
Yes, indeed. Let's talk about a team that's pretty good down the road here, Tulane, but they really struggled last week against Rice. That game was in danger. They were down in the second half in that game. Now to go to Denton, Texas, second-year coach, got it from Incarnate Word. Kind of did a lot of offense last year, but defense was an afterthought. This year, a lot of shootouts again, but the win-loss record is improved for the Mean Green. Tulane 7.5 on the road here against North Texas.
Yeah, you got that right, Jimmy. North Texas has improved in Eric Morris's second year, and glad you mentioned he was at Incarnate Word and did a very nice job there, and that's why he got hired at North Texas. And he'll move up. I think this guy's a very good coach, and I think you'll see him get a better job. But another good coach is John Sumlin for Tulane, and he came over from Troy. Man, when you lose a guy like Willie Fritz, you think, now how are they going to bounce back? But you hire a guy like Sumlin, and you're right back where you were. So this Tulane team is very, very good. They're very explosive. They have played an easy schedule to start the American athletic season. Their opponents are 2-9 combined. This is a game that's a must-win, I feel, for North Texas. They're 2-1 in the conference. Tulane is 3-0. We're getting points here. I like what I've seen out of North Texas. They've covered 3 of the last 4 games. You mentioned shootouts. This offense has been clicking on all cylinders. They can score 44, 52, 41, and 44 points the last 4 weeks. So you get a couple stops, North Texas is in this game, and they have a chance to win.
All right, let's move on to the SEC. Auburn, tough luck loser last week. And I wonder if they let their guard down a little bit and did not expect Cook to come back, but we know that story well by now. Kentucky, on the other hand, it's been hit or miss. Outside that Ole Miss win on the road, it's been not Stoops' best year in Lexington. Cats 2.5 here on the road at Auburn.
Yeah, that win in Mississippi, I think, cost them the Vanderbilt game the next week because I really think they let down. Even though I like what I've seen out of Vandy,
that really, you got the game against Georgia and the game against Ole Miss. Those are just two super games coming off a horrible loss at Florida. I think Kentucky rebounds this week. I think Mark Stoops' team will rally. I'm not sure about Auburn. This football team has really been inconsistent all year, and now a 4-game losing streak. I have Kentucky as the better football team and playing at home here. I'm laying less than a field goal. These are my favorite type of plays, Jimmy, when I can lay less than a field goal and I got a team close to a touchdown favorite. All right, so Kentucky the pick on the road against Auburn. That game is on the SEC Network, 6:45 our time here in the Central Time Zone. All right, let's go to Wyoming, Laramie, Wyoming, and they host Utah State. In this one, Wyoming is catching 1. So at the beginning of the year, I had a feeling about this. Utah State brought back Blake Anderson, and he was at Arkansas State for 7 years. But before he was at Arkansas State, he was at Utah State. And he loved the area so well, he kept his house and just rented it out. So when Utah State hired him back, he was able to move into the family home and take over. But I think getting up there in age, and just it was not the same motivated coach that he had been in the past, or I don't think he recruited like he used to. And this team was not very good the last 2 years. They definitely dropped off. And this year's edition, I knew was going to be weaker. Now, he retired before the season even started, and their defensive coordinator took over. Their defensive coordinator. They have allowed 48, 39, 45, 62, 50, and 50 the last 6 weeks. This team has no defense. The offense is well below average. Now, Wyoming is having a horrendous season for this football program that has been so strong over the years. But they have a new coach as well, and he was their defensive coordinator. But there for 4 years, I think Savell will get this program turned back around. But what I've seen out of Wyoming so far has been better than what I've seen out of Utah State. As I mentioned, this is the worst defense in the entire country that Utah State has. So I just have to win the game. I like Wyoming at home here to get the W over Utah State. Yeah, we're looking for a new coach. We're looking for improvement as well. And they beat Air Force and very competitive against San Diego State and at San Jose State as well the last 3 games. So they are more competitive as opposed to Utah State. They got that rental win against Robert Morris. It has been 6 straight losing games and not a whole lot of close ones. Did have a close one in shootout, 50-45 against New Mexico. Let's go to the NFL and the Baltimore Ravens, man. They're putting up some points, up and down the field. They're putting up yards and points at an historic rate. Really are. Lamar Jackson, reigning MVP, maybe trying to put together another one. He is the favorite after this past weekend's performance in a high-profile situation. Cleveland's going to start Jameis Winston. All they do is talk about how they love him, but nobody plays him. Now they're forced to play him this week after Watson, his Achilles injury sidelines him for the year. You're looking at maybe the Ravens here on the road against Cleveland. Yeah, and road teams have done really well this year, Jimmy. Road favorites of 3 or more in the NFL. I don't have the numbers in front of me. It's either 16-2 or 18-2. ATS, not straight up. Yeah. ATS. You just bet the road favorite over 3 or more, and you're cashing. This is a little bit higher than a 3-point favorite. We're laying 9, but these are 2 organizations going in different directions, and we see it week in and week out. The Cleveland Browns have just struggled mightily. 1-4 ATS their last 5 games. And you mentioned Jameis Winston. As bad as Deshaun Watson's looked, you would think Winston would have gotten an opportunity before this. And then last week when Watson did get hurt, Dorian Thompson-Robinson gets the start. I'm not sure why. Well, I guess not the start, but he came in relief of Watson, which means that Robinson's the second-string quarterback. And I have Winston rated higher, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's not that good. So the drop-off could be more than I think. But, again, these are 2 organizations going in different directions. We've got one team, Baltimore, who has Super Bowl aspirations, and the Browns are thinking, who's our quarterback we're going to draft in April? Kenny, do you have your power ratings of handy there in college football? college football. I can pull them up on my computer real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have Ohio State 1?
And
Georgia 2? Ohio State and Georgia 1 and 2?
College football power ratings week 9. Let me see here. I think I have a tie at number 1. I have Georgia and Ohio State now tied for first, and I have Texas number 3. And what I've told people is teams learn more about themselves after a loss than they do a win anytime, because then they start to realize what their weakness is. Texas's weakness was an offensive line that was not very physical. So that's going to be the Steve Sarkisian's job over the next couple of weeks. Make that line more physical. And they got the message at halftime because they played a much better second half. They were much more physical on that offensive line, but they learned what they have to do. I think Texas is going to be a dangerous team the rest of the year.
Okay, Oregon number 4?
Correct.
Okay. The rest of them, Penn State struggled against USC. But to me, it is jumbled from there. Penn State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, A&M, Notre Dame. Alabama, you got to throw in there as well. I might have Ole Miss, much higher than that one. I thought that was a little bit of a fluke against Kentucky. Who do you have after Oregon?
That's very true. I have Alabama number 5. Okay. Mississippi and Tennessee tied at 6. Penn State 8, Miami 9, and then Notre Dame number 10. And I only have a 5-point difference between number 1 Georgia and Ohio State and Miami of Florida. The top 9 teams in the country are separated by less than a touchdown.
You have A&M ahead of LSU, huh?
I have Texas A&M 16th right now. I have LSU number 11.
Okay, wait. Who was 9? Penn State and Notre Dame?
9 was Miami of Florida.
Miami. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot.
That's okay.
I failed to mention Miami. Where's Clemson fall in that?
Clemson's number 12 right now. They're knocking on the door to be in the top 10.
Yeah. So, what's your thought on that LSU A&M game, Penny?
I haven't talked about it all week, so I'm sure my number's probably pretty close. I have LSU 3 points better to the betting line.
Okay. And that's right, yeah, because you may say 5 points for a real big time home field advantage like that. So that's what it is. 2.5.
That number's right.
Yeah. So
it's right on the number.
Two teams.
I think I have an over bet. I bet that game over. I went over 53.5 early in the week.
Okay.
I think it'll be a shootout.
Gotcha. Hey, anything new over at KennyWhiteSports.com?
Just plugging away. I gave that special out last week, the VIP Club. It is still good to go. Nobody took advantage of it, and I got you the telegram this week. So you're going to see all the VIP Club plays, and you can go back and even look because our archive is there and see, what people played. But I'll put everybody's record on there as well so people know. But we've got some really hot handicappers in the VIP Club, and it's a great value, $150 for a month. And your average getting about 50 plays a week, so it's less than $1 a play you're getting. You don't have to bet them all. You bet the ones you like, or the hot handicappers. I got a guy that Greg Sidoris does NFL props, and Ken Murphy is one of the best handicappers in the country that no one knows. He's the most disciplined handicapper in the country. He started the first sports fund in the state of Nevada, and there was 12 funds at one time. He's the only one that lasted the test of time, and the only one of the 12 that showed a profit of the 2 years that they did have sports funds here in Nevada. So Ken, I've followed his stuff for 7 years now, Jimmy, and I'm telling you, discipline, he is the most disciplined guy I've ever seen in my life. 1 play a day, sometimes no plays. He just passes, but he's that good.
Not just you, but who you surround yourself with. Great stuff. At KWhitey Vegas, at KWhitey Vegas on Twitter, on X as well. Kenny, good luck, man. Thank you. Great stuff as usual. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, cash some tickets. Have a great weekend.
Yes, indeed. Hear from Jolie Pearl. Jolie Pearl again. Tomorrow is the season finale for Live After 5. Again, Chris LeBlanc Band, his Southdown Souls Band, is going to be performing. So we'll have our own music on the lawn, kind of taking the baton from that. We got music throughout the weekend over here, but this is the last one of the fall season for Live After 5. Great weather here in the month of October. Make Jolie Pearl your meeting place.
Live with Jolie Pearl, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Jolie Pearl downtown, facing Town Square on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
According to Adam Schefter, Washington plans to try to practice Jaden Daniels tomorrow. He is not practicing again today, so the odds of him playing in that game against the Bears are dropping a little bit at this point. But if they can get him on the practice field tomorrow, he's got a shot. He's missed the first 2 days with that rib injury. Nothing's broken. They didn't confirm anything that was broken, so we'll see if he can get out there. I'd love to see it, Jimmy, because Caleb Williams has played better, in the last 4 games than he did, or in the first 3, and that'd be a heck of a matchup. There'd be a lot of eyes on that. So, hope that Daniels can get back on the practice field and play a little bit on Sunday against the Bears.
What's the line?
The line is currently the Bears are -3.
-3 now. Okay,
-3.
There you go. Went from 1.5 to 3.
Yeah.
He
not practicing today. You don't get to practice. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, he's not going to play. So Schefter's saying he's a maybe for practice tomorrow. That they're going to try to get him out there. So.
Yeah, the line out there, but at 1.5 was looking. That was telling me his chances were paying him better. I mean, he didn't look like he was in pain on the sidelines.
Mama says he's okay.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she tweeted out. She said he's okay. And okay might mean he needs to sit out a week. It's not anything serious. It's not going to keep him out a long time.
Those 2 teams are combined 9-4.
Yeah, it is. Especially, rookie
Rookie
quarterbacks in general. I mean, if you get one that plays well out there.
But even when the Bears were 1-2, their over-under has not budged. You see, they haven't played any. There's 3 NFC North teams that are in like the top 10 power ratings and things like that.
And they play them all in the last 7 weeks.
Correct. Yeah, they
twice.
They haven't played any of them yet.
Yeah.
So, you got to do it against somebody, but, man, Jacksonville's performance in London and then Carolina before that. this Carolina thing could be bad. The Broncos are favored by double digits. The Broncos.
Oof. Yeah. Bad owner. bad owner. And they go back to Bryce Young.
The Carolina.
Downgraded quarterback.
At least, that's going to make them worse.
Dalton's better right now.
And Dalton's not good. Dalton's going to just throw it. He's going to make plays, make mistakes, but he gives them a chance to move the ball.
Thanks to Jolie Pearl and Town Square Pizza tomorrow at Rufino's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Pierre Part store and the Thibodeau store. The 113th anniversary of the Pierre Part store is coming up this Saturday. They got a lot of cool stuff going on. They'll be doing 50-cent hot dogs as long as the supplies last there. They're going to have raffles and door prizes, lots of cool stuff going on. It starts at 11 o'clock. They're going to have face painting and characters for the kids, demos from Ryan's Cajun Pantry, from Community Coffee, from Prime Shrimp, from Gator World. They'll be giving away jambalaya pots. They'll be giving away gift baskets from a number of local vendors, free loaves of bread to the first 113 customers. Crawfish stew is only $5 plus tax. It comes with white beans and bread, so it's going to be a lot of fun. In Pierre Part this Saturday, come enjoy a 113-year anniversary with the Pierre Part store.